sexual misconduct, human trafficking, a missing ring from a murder victim, and special privileges for certain officers who have special relationships with Sheriff Smith. Dramatic new evidence mounts against Donald Smith in the embattled Augusta County Sheriff's Office. And today, shocking new details from another whistleblower. This one, a former deputy with the Sheriff's Office, who comes forward and tells all in an explosive interview with Breaking Through. How much do the grotesque allegations from the whistleblower have to do with the turnover in the Augusta County Sheriff's Office? After it was revealed to Breaking Through News that since Augusta County Sheriff Donald Smith took office over 4 years ago, over 50 plus deputies and staff have left the Augusta County Sheriff's Office. We began to dig for the reason or reasons behind the departure of more than half of the Augusta County Sheriff's Office's employees under Sheriff Donald Smith. The first thing we did was get a list of all of the deputies and staff that left the Augusta County Sheriff's Office since Donald Smith was sworn in as sheriff. And then I began to reach out to some of those former deputies. Some were willing to talk, but not go public in fear of retribution and retaliation from the Augusta County Sheriff's Office or their current law enforcement agency employing them. Others simply would not respond at all. But one former Augusta County Sheriff's deputy did agree to sit down with Breaking Through News and talk about a slew of reasons why they left the Augusta County Sheriff's Office. However, the former deputy asked that I conceal their identity and voice. This former deputy painted a picture of a sheriff's office with a hostile work environment, rumors of rampant sexual misconduct, and a culture ran by nepotism. Every former deputy that I spoke to said it is known throughout the Augusta County Sheriff's Office that Sheriff Donald Smith is a homosexual. While none of the former or current officers that I spoke to had a problem with the sheriff's sexual orientation, they did have deep concerns over alleged rampant sexual misconduct, which they say led to certain deputies who had special relationships with Smith being allowed to act badly and with impunity. According to my sources, these deputies also seem to get choice positions, the best vehicles, and other special privileges. Some of the deputies that are in this elite group are Aaron Will Elliott, Wes Hill, and Ryan McClamrock. Sheriff Donald Smith has allegedly declared Wes Hill and Ryan McClamrock to be his two best deputies. However, my sources say Wes Hill and Ryan McClamrock cannot write reports, answer calls improperly, and that their only asset is that they are big into CrossFit. At least two of the former deputies I talked to said Wes Hill has served warrants in other jurisdictions without authorization. Here is the former deputy addressing the issue of nepotism.
Some of the newer hires were promoted, in my opinion, before they were ready to be supervisors. Experience was less than what other people in the sheriff's office that may not be part of that group had, and they were promoted over top of them. Deputy Aaron Will was promoted to supervisor, given an unmarked car, over top of very well qualified candidates within the sheriff's office that were interested in promotion.
The former deputy, who we will call whistleblower number 2, said the sheriff has poor written and verbal skills. And whistleblower number 2 does not believe the sheriff is capable of writing his own press releases.
I don't think he has the skills to write a lot of the things that you see that come from the sheriff. After seeing a lot of his reports and things, I don't. The releases, everything they don't sound like him. Somebody else wrote them.
Why do you say that? What have you observed that makes you sure?
Like I said, I've observed his reports, that he just doesn't, his ability to communicate through the written word is not good. Reports are written in a different style than anything that I've ever seen taught. They're not an A to Z story that every other police officer I've ever met writes in.
Whistleblower number 2 said Sheriff Smith's favorite deputies go unpunished for their actions as long as they have the sheriff's favor.
Where people that were closer to him, kind of the in crowd, they seemed to operate with immunity. No matter what they did, there was no punishment, no recourse, nothing. However, if somebody that wasn't in that group either made a mistake or somebody perceived a mistake, they were immediately kind of pounded passed upon and reprimanded, whether they did or not. There is a possibility that a young trainee traded a sexual favor to be passed through the field training program.
Who was the field training officer there?
Will Elliott.
During my investigation, 2 different former deputies told me that another former Augusta County Sheriff's deputy, Dakota Funk, sent a picture of his genitalia to a social media account that he thought was an underage child. But it was actually an account run by Deputy Michele as an undercover investigation to catch child sex predators. According to these former deputies, Deputy Michele took this info to Sheriff Smith, and Dakota Funk was let go from the Augusta County Sheriff's Office, but was not charged with the crime and is now a deputy in neighboring Nelson County. But this is where it gets ugly. Both of these former deputies claim that Donald Smith has been paying off Deputy Funk, and both former deputies claim knowledge of at least 2 checks for several $100s that were drawn from Sheriff Smith's personal account and made payable to Dakota Funk. Breaking Through has obtained a recorded phone call between Dakota Funk and his wife. Dakota's wife confronts her husband about the alleged payoffs by Sheriff Smith. Dakota Funk never denies that the payments exist. Here's some sound bites from that call. The female voice is Dakota's wife. The male voice is her husband, former Augusta County deputy and current Nelson County deputy, Dakota Funk.
Hello?
Hey, I need to talk with you about something super quick,
What's
okay?
up? Okay.
I need you to listen to what I'm saying before you chime in, okay? Because this
Okay.
is serious. I have found out that you are receiving checks from Donald Smith.
What do you mean?
Donald Smith is paying you money. Why would that be?
What do you mean? Paying me money for what?
I don't know. That's why I'm reaching out to you, because it seems like pretty serious business.
No.
No what? It's not serious?
No, I haven't. What are you talking about?
You're in some hot water.
No, I'm not.
Because obviously if a reporter knows about it,
There's no criminal
he's gonna
investigation. There's nothing.
there's no criminal investigation. What do you mean?
No.
How do you know that this won't jumpstart a criminal investigation?
Well, anything can jump anything.
Yeah, you're
I don't
right,
care.
but I would
That's
I would
fine.
think that when a reporter starts asking questions,
I
that's
don't give
kind
a
of
shit about any reporters. I deal with reporters every day.
Whistleblower number 2 told me that the high turnover rate and Sheriff Smith's system of nepotism that promotes inexperienced deputies to supervisors has compromised the Augusta County Sheriff's Office's ability to solve crimes.
The communities should wonder why. You're losing deputies that are experienced, that know the county, that know the people, know the crime trends, who would do something. If you have an experienced deputy, you work a certain type of call, a lot of times from the area and the type of call, you can develop a suspect. Guys that are just getting hired that don't know that, potentially don't solve a crime, don't make an arrest because they don't have that knowledge base.
And it isn't just former employees that are coming out to condemn Smith. Even some of his staunchest supporters, like local militiaman Larry Lewis, have now denounced the good sheriff.
I would say if I was having a relationship with someone, that I would probably know if they were doing human trafficking. So, with that being said, I mean, folks, y'all gonna have to make your own minds up, just like I did. But I believe it. I believe he knew what was going on. I believe he lied to federal investigators. And if it would have been me or you that would have lied to federal investigators, then we'd be in prison right now instead of running for sheriff of a county.
If these revelations by these former deputies are accurate, this is just more heaps onto the already tall pile of scandals, cover-ups, and alleged corruption surrounding Augusta County Sheriff Donald Smith, from his almost decade-long relationship with a known human trafficker and suspected child sex predator, to court documents that prove he was a hostile witness in a federal investigation into Felix Chujoy and his mother, to his turning a blind eye when First Sergeant Michael Rohn shoots a family pet without cause, or removes evidence from the evidence room and never returns it. Now we have accusations of a possible payoff, rumors of sexual favors in return for passing field training, and accusations of extreme nepotism by individuals that actually worked for the Augusta County Sheriff's Office under Sheriff Donald Smith, This is not okay, and I welcome the sheriff to sit down with me for a one-on-one interview and to put it all on the table, and once and for all either confirm or deny these accusations being brought up against him by these former deputies and address the rumors surrounding him and his agency. But just like the sheriff has not accepted an invite from his opponent, Neil Kester, to a town hall style forum, I highly doubt the good sheriff will accept my invite either. Hey sheriff, where's the transparency?
Sheriff Smith preaches transparency. A lot of things internally that jeopardize the safety of the public, as well as affect how their tax dollars are spent, affect the morale of the office. It's not what the public perceives is not how it is. There is no transparency. He releases what he wants to release. A lot of good employees, members of the community are miserable at work.
In the Breaking Through newsroom, Theodore Whitelow, Breaking Through News.